crypto traders, before we check in on the Bitcoin bullish action that we've got going on leading up into the halving, we want to point out on the Trader Pro alert system that we've added some preset alerts, and to check those out, go to dashboard, go to add alert, choose the exchange that you want, choose the pairing that you want, and then rather than choosing the manual alerts as we have in the past, we have presets now. So presets for swing trader, day trader, downtrend trader, so for bears, and uptrend trader for bulls. And I'm about to make content right after this video explaining it a little bit better. But long story short, it's just preset to focus on the timeframes that matter most. If I'm a day trader, the 15-minute alerts are going to matter way more than if I'm a swing trader. And as far as the downtrend and uptrend alerts are concerned, we're going to be focusing, just as an example, say the uptrend trader. I want to know larger term timeframes signaling overextended super stack alerts. So I care about the super stack signal on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame to tell me to take some profit. And then I care about the short term time frames being oversold because that tells me to potentially be looking for the higher lows. So as we know, if I'm in a daily uptrend and I'm looking at hourly oversold conditions, that's generally a good time to be scouting for daily higher lows. So it's going to help us with entries and exits in terms of going with whatever strategy that we are looking to trade with. And it will also allow us to change with market conditions. I don't want to be a downtrend trader right now in the cryptocurrency space because the bulls have had complete control for quite some time now. I want to be using the uptrend presets. And once that changes, and once we see weakness and weekly consolidation, whenever that happens, I can then change from an uptrend trader to a downtrend trader. So again, more details coming on that, but that's live now. So Bitcoin bulls are in complete control. We had a tightening daily range that broke bullish. We had the bears defending the top of 94.78. And last night they had a hard rejection from that resistance level, 94.18. We hit that price and we dumped real quick a solid 0.45%. And the bulls recovered very nicely. The size of that V-shaped bounce lets us know, okay, bulls are just fine, along with the bigger picture with that pullback and that rejection only resulting in a 4-hour higher low. So we often see this scenario where we have a clear resistance level, the price gets up to it, and then the bear bots kick in and market dump the price. The most important factor for us when that market dump happens, as far as whether we should believe the bears or not, is follow through. So that first push down when they catch everything off guard and the order books are maybe a little bit thin and they clear everything out with market sells. If we then bounce and set a lower high and lower low, we know that they're for real. Because in general, we've seen this pattern enough before over the last few months that the bots dump the price and they generally stop after a short amount of time. So it's when you see the lower high and lower low bearish continuation that you know, okay, this isn't just a knee-jerk reaction from bots having their level hit. This is follow through, and that's much more meaningful. So it's the kind of scenario where anytime you're in a very bullish move and you see that hard rejection, you can buy that dip and then you know to just exit if we get any bearish continuation. And that would be putting your stop under the low of the initial dump as a very clear line in the sand level that the bulls need to hold. And obviously last night, a complete V-shaped recovery, and that kept the bulls very confident. Just a 4-hour higher low, and here we are today breaking to higher highs. We're in an area right now, and actually we just saw it a bit again. So again, big bull break, quick 2% pullback, but no bear follow through on that pullback. So we're in a scenario now where we have a lack of previous price resistance levels. So we're just looking at psychological, 96, 97, 98, 99, up to 10,000. We know the most important resistance is still 10,522. And we have the halving coming up Monday, 4 days from today. And it's actually 4 days and 6 hours. So Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern, the halving occurs. Is it a sell the news event? That's what everybody wants to know short term. Are we going to see a dump once the halving gets here? Or are we going to break out? The price action leading up into known events, and I'm generalizing right now, not just this scenario, but whether it's stocks, whether it's, a presentation from Apple stock, whatever it is, the known event, the price action leading up into the known event determines if it's going to be a likely sell the news event or not. The harder we run into a known event, the more likely it is that it's a sell the news event. If we're trading sideways, if this is the chart right here and the halving were going to happen right here and we were just trading sideways into it, no, I would not expect to sell the news event. But if this bull move that has just started, if this follows through for another few days and we get no daily consolidation leading up into the halving, I don't know if there's an EN on there or not. I like calling it the halving. So if we run with no daily consolidation for the next 4 days, I would look for profit taking on that event to take place. But that being said, our last daily high or low is 85.33. And if at that point we're up at 10,000, we know we're likely to just form a daily high or low because we can still pull back 10% and be in a daily uptrend. We're in a scenario right now where the S&P 500, we have broken correlation. That's very important for the bulls, and that's a great sign. And that break of correlation is notable, and we're going to be continuing to monitor it. But the S&P 500 is maintaining its strength as well. So the S&P 500 is still right around its bounce high, but obviously Bitcoin breaking to higher highs. Their weekly chart still looks similar, but at this point, the Bitcoin weekly chart is certainly gaining ground against the S&P 500. So bulls in complete control, 4-hour uptrend intact. I would call anything above $9,028 a 4-hour high or low. We know there is a lack of resistance in this area. We know bears, any bear entries up here, where do they put their stop levels? There are no clear stop out levels aside from every temporary top that we see. So 96.15 is a resistance level. The high of this move, that's really the only stop that's nearby. After 96.15, the next clear previous price level I'm looking at is $10,030. So the bears are definitely on their heels. We are getting extended to the upside, but we are running into a hype event. And again, if I come back in 2 days, 3 days from now and do another video and we're trading up over 10,000 with no daily consolidation, we are definitely as bulls going to want to protect our profit leading up into that event. Bitcoin daily chart, this is extremely notable as well. Huge follow through. What stood out to me yesterday is when the bears rejected Bitcoin from that resistance and dumped us down, this chart kept going up, which told me that the altcoins were dumping harder, which is a bit surprising. But again, this just shows us everybody's piling into Bitcoin for the halving. And what I would be watching if we do see a sell the news scenario is altcoins. I'd be watching for money to leave Bitcoin and go into altcoins if we see profit taking next week, first thing with the halving upon us. So this bull break is very notable. Weekly higher low, higher high. And we're now looking up at 70.93 is the most important resistance level. And the monthly chart here for this Bitcoin dominance is shifting momentum a good bit. So obviously this is an extremely notable daily chart as everybody is focused on Bitcoin for the next 5 days. ETH. So ETH, we're not bearish, but again, there's just a lot more attention on the Bitcoin bulls. The daily time frame here, I would call anything under 219.48 as a daily lower high. And we're going to be watching short-term support of 195.17. And if we break 195.17, we'll be watching for the potential of weekly consolidation to begin. ETHBTC dumping as the Bitcoin dominance chart breaks out. We're looking at 201 as a key support level that's going to be approaching. And looking at this from the weekly perspective, we knew we were looking for a weekly lower high. We got it with the loss of the daily uptrend. And now it's all about this weekly support. Nice to see this chart follow through in the most anticipated, most likely scenario. And it's all about this support level. Best case for the bulls, if I'm looking to play this chart, I want to see a hold of support right into Monday and then have a bottom fishing play off of this support, anticipating that after Monday, we may see funds leave Bitcoin and go into some of the major altcoins. LTC, anything under $50 is just a lower high on the daily time frame, and weekly consolidation will be upon us if we see a bear break of the pattern of a higher low every weekly candle recently, and our last daily higher low is 43.19. So that's the most important short-term support level to try and maintain the daily uptrend. XRP holding on, support of 2081, 2074. So we got a bear break with no follow through, but we're keeping the weakness intact with every little lower high here. So again, just not a whole lot going on while Bitcoin is breaking out. It's almost like we're just patiently waiting. And on the weekly time frame, watching the pattern of a higher low every week. And once that breaks, and actually we did just barely break it a couple weeks ago, but weekly inside bars for most altcoins are currently forming, which shows us that sideways patient action. Anything under 1781 for BNB is just a daily lower high. Let's see, I already did XRP. Link USD. So we're watching this head and shoulders pattern, this potential head and shoulders on a 12-hour time frame for Link. And we have the right shoulder forming now. So last video, we pointed out the left shoulder, the head, and this is the right shoulder. If we break 351 and 346, it'll be the most notable shift in momentum away from the bulls that we have seen in the last 5 weeks. So it's all about those little higher lows, and they're close to each other. 351 is the most important short-term support. And on any bounce, I would call anything under $4. Actually, I would call anything under 387 just a lower high. But we're on the verge of key support, certainly worth watching in the short term. And XTZ is similar. XTZ, let's go to the 12-hour. A similar head and shoulders pattern. It's not as clearly defined, but what stands out to me is the support levels of 255 and 259 right near each other. And just like Link, we are holding them for now. If they break, it'll be the most notable shift away from the bulls that we've seen in 5 weeks. And the bulls are doing everything they can to hold on to those support levels. BCH USD, looking down at recent support. I don't really care. I don't care about these coins at all. They're doing the same thing as the other altcoins. So basically, everybody's focusing on 2 things. Number 1, Bitcoin leading into the halving. Absolutely. Could we see a hype surge that we have not seen in a long time where Bitcoin runs up thousands of dollars over the next few days? Absolutely. That is possible. And that is something to be watching for. Again, I would not be surprised for bulls to squeeze every ounce of this move that they can before the halving. Again, if we run hard into Monday, I would then shift my focus for potential profit taking on Bitcoin and potential funds to go from Bitcoin to our major altcoins like ETH and Link and XTZ and all these other names that we are watching. So that's the setup right now. And if we see profit taking and daily consolidation on Bitcoin before Monday, then I'm not going to be looking for Monday to be a sell the news event. So pretty much have to run from now into Monday. We will look for a sell the news event if that is the case, and we will then be watching for charts like ETH BTC to try and bounce, and we will look for BTC dominance to consolidate. A couple more days to go, and we'll check in at least one more time before then. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And one more point. The alerts for the overextended conditions on Bitcoin, take them with a grain of salt in this current market environment. The halving doesn't come around every month. So this is an unusual event that is leading to potentially unusual price action. So I might take the overextended, overbought signals with a bit of a grain of salt, knowing that there is a hype news-fueled run going on right now. And it's the same thing with, in general with stocks. If I'm looking at RSI, if I know there is a news event involved, RSI is less meaningful to me because of the extra added catalyst that news provides. So that's the way I'm treating this market right now and watching for that potential sell the news event in 2 days from now when we are just, 48 hours away from the halving actually taking place. We'll know a lot more as to if this is the most likely scenario that we're going to be expecting. But as of right now, it is shaping up that way. Thanks again. Do good things. We'll see you soon.